Well, hello and welcome to our special broadcast coming to you live from right outside the Palekele International Stadium. It has, in the end, turned out to be quite an anti-climax because it was setting up to be a very good game between India and Pakistan, the first game of this edition of the Asia Cup. And, rain was expected, but the rain held up. And you saw at least one innings. The Indian batters came out and you saw a topsy-turvy innings at that. It started off in Pakistan's favour with Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf wreaking havoc and sending the Indian top order back into the hut for hardly anything on the board. From there on, it looked like one-way traffic, but then you had a rearguard action by Hardik Pandya, by Ishan Kishan that eventually helped India put up a respectable total in this encounter. That took India to 266 by if you were to speak to a lot of experts here, most of them would say that that would have been a tricky total. That was a very competitive total. We were all waiting for Pakistan to come out and bat under the circumstances. There was rain around. There was a heavy cloud cover. You expected some swing for the Indian bowlers, but that wasn't to be. Not a single ball could be bowled. In the mid-innings, you had a bit of a rain. After that, that rain continued. Not very heavy showers, slight drizzle, but it never allowed the covers to really go off. And at the end, you could not even have a minimum of 20 overs that was needed to have an official game. In the end, it's a tie. Both captains shook hands. They've shared the points. Up next for India will be Nepal. Let's quickly listen in to our fans that had gathered across the country in groups, friends together, publicly, watching this India versus Pakistan match. What were their reactions after they learned that the match was called off? Let's listen in.
भगवान के हाथ में है एक फेयर चांस था जो मिलना चाहिए था इंडिया को हम डिसअपॉइंटेड है आप लोग कहां से आए थे हम दिल्ली से आए हैं और हम इंडिया के सारे मैचेस वर्ल्ड में जहां भी होते हैं वहां जाके हम देखते हैं हमारा ग्रुप है इंडियन टर्बन और हम इंडिया के चाहे मैनचेस्टर में हुआ हो या जब लाहौर में भी हुआ था 2007 के गद्दाफी स्टेडियम में हम भी वहीं थे जब मुशर्रफ ने धोनी जी के लिए कहा था कि बाल कटवा लो तो तब से हम फॉलो कर रहे हैं और चाह तो अगले दोनों मैच शायद 10 को एक मैच होगा और फाइनल भी हो सकता है पाकिस्तान को करारी हार देके जाएंगे जय हिंद के सारे मैचेस वर्ल्ड में जहां भी
अनफॉर्चुनेट क्या इंडिया की आज जीत नहीं हुई आज इतिहास लौटाने वाला था पर मौसम ने साथ नहीं दिया हार्दिक और ईशान ने ऑलरेडी पाकिस्तान को एक जोरदार फ्लेवर दे दिया अपनी बैटिंग अनफॉर्चुनेट क्या इंडिया की आज जीत नहीं हुई आज इतिहास लौटाने वाला था पर मौसम ने साथ नहीं दिया हार्दिक और ईशान ने ऑलरेडी पाकिस्तान को एक जोरदार फ्लेवर दे दिया अपनी बैटिंग का
Okay, so we heard from the fans that had turned up at the stadium in terms of what their expectations were from this particular match. A lot of them going back disappointed with the hope, though, that they will get to see definitely another India-Pakistan game that is due to be played on the 10th of September in Colombo. And then who knows, maybe a final as well. Sunny Gavaskar now joins us on the broadcast. Anyway, we spoke to you in mid-innings. Nothing much has changed since then because we could not get any sort of batting of Pakistan. This was an opportunity for us to see how Jasprit Bumrah comes back after an injury, opportunity for us to see whether the Indian bowlers could put Pakistan under pressure. I know at this point, the game being called off, Saibhai, the fans are disappointed. But if I were to ask you, which team would be more relieved that the game was a washout?
I would imagine that at the start, when if there was going to be a 50-over game for Pakistan, Pakistan would have been a little bit concerned because that's a big score. You're being asked to score at more than 5 runs and over, so that's never easy. So they would have been a little bit concerned about the fact that India, after the early shocks from Shaheen Afridi, had got to that total. But once it started to rain and the overs started to get reduced, then I think India also would have been just a touch concerned because in a shortened match scenario of about 22, 23 overs, clearly the batting side that is chasing know that they have 10 wickets in hand, and so can go hammer and tongs at the target that they would have had to chase.
Shaiva, let's now dissect the Indian batting. Let's start with the two stars. I'm going to talk about Ishan Kishan. He's done good. There was a lot of talk about whether he'll be able to adjust in the middle order. Number 5 is a position that he's never batted. He usually bats at number 4, has come very good. If you were the Indian captain or the Indian coach, and after the Nepal game, for the next India-Pakistan game, it's believed that KL Rahul will be back. If you were to make the India 11, who would then be your, provided that KL Rahul is available, who would be your first choice wicketkeeper batsman now? Ishan Kishan, KL Rahul.
Well, I would actually wait and see what Shreyas Iyer does against Nepal as well. And if Shreyas Iyer doesn't get runs in the game against Nepal, he might not even get an opportunity to bat. He could probably bat, because against Nepal, if India go for 50 overs, the top 3 batters could possibly bat 40 odd overs. But otherwise, I would look at, in case Shreyas Iyer doesn't get runs, then I would look at both Ishan and KL Rahul batting at 4 and 5. You can't drop Ishan Kishan after he's got an 80 in trying circumstances. In trying circumstances, I don't think you can drop him. It's not fair on him. And he brings, like I said, he brings a left-handed dimension to the Indian top order.
Oh, that's interesting. So as Sunny Gavaskar is telling us on India today, that Ishan Kishan then is a must in the 11. Maybe it could be a toss-up between Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul. Provided KL Rahul is fit, we believe he's going to go through another fitness test before he's given the green light, and then he lands here in Colombo for the second leg. So that will be interesting, the 11 that India goes with. Next match, of course, is versus Nepal. Since, Aiva, you talk about Shreyas Iyer, could he have done anything differently? Because, a lot of times you speak about his weakness against the short ball. What I could see from the outside, he took on that short ball. He played a shot that was on, connected really well, unfortunately found the fielder. How did you see his approach? And the other thing that you noticed, that he started playing aggressive cricket. India had lost a few wickets, but he wasn't hanging about. He was trying to play aggressive cricket at the time. What does that tell you about Shreyas Iyer, who's coming back after a long injury break, and the rhythm that he showed today?
Well, that tells of a positive mindset. He was looking to score runs. You're absolutely right. That shot was a cracking good shot, but it went straight to the fielder. 5 yards here on either side, and it could have been a boundary. But that's what the game of cricket is all about. You could get lucky, unlucky. Shreyas Iyer was unlucky here today. But whatever little time that he spent out in the middle, he looked very good, very confident. And that's an encouraging sign as well, because he scored runs. He's got a very good record in the 50 overs game for India. And so therefore, yes, I know it'll be a tough ask in case he doesn't get a chance to play against Nepal because of, the top 3 batters, scoring most of the runs. But I think he looked very good today.
Yeah, he did certainly look good. Saiva, since we are on the subject of intent and the approach and being aggressive, the way Shreyas Iyer batted, what did you make of Shubman Gill's inning? Because it's now been an extended bad patch that he's going through since the WTC, then the West Indies tour. Just looking at the approach, you can have a batter who's not got runs. Rohit and Virat also did not get runs. So did Shubman Gill not get runs. But I'm just talking about his stay on the pitch. Do you think it's time for us to be slightly worried in terms of, Shubman Gill, his mindset, his approach to batting, or his form at the moment, looking at, 30, 40 balls that he spent on the crease today?
No, I don't think it's time to get worried because, we know how good a player he is. So I don't think it's time to get worried. But yes, certainly we looked a little tentative. And that could well be because, you lost 2 of your top batters in the game, guys who have scored the most runs for India in this format of the game, apart from, of course, Tendulkar and Dravid. So clearly, I think he was probably looking to, stabilize the innings along with Shreyas Iyer. And then Shreyas Iyer also gets out. So 3 wickets down. Maybe he was looking to just, hold one end together. Because with Ishan Kishan being new, playing against Pakistan for the first time, maybe, Shubman was looking to sort of, build a partnership with it. But no, it's not time to get worried about the fact that he's not getting runs. He's too good a player.
Now let's get to the Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli dismissals. Both getting out of the ball coming in. What do you put it down to? Some outstanding bowling, or do you think both of them were rusty, considering they've not played white ball cricket for some time now? Or do you think there is a genuine weakness for both of them when it comes to a ball that is coming in?
I think it was top-class bowling, really top-class bowling from Shaheen Shah Afridi. With the hard new ball, he gets the ball to move around quite a bit. And today he bowled particularly cleverly, because knowing that Rohit Sharma would be anticipating the one coming in, which has trapped him leg before, he was bowling the ball that was angling across the right hander, and then he brings the one ball in after having bowled two or three, going with the line, going across the batter, brings the ball in to dismiss Rohit Sharma. Ball between bat and pad. Top delivery, maybe the bat could have been closer, but because he was expecting the ball leaving him, his bat was a little bit away from the pads. And then Kohli also, looking to sort of play for a ball which was maybe leaving him. That's why the bat was outside and not inside, and thus getting an inside hit. So it's top class bowling, really. These two batters, have such a fabulous record. To get them out in one innings is a super big feat by the left-hander.
Okay, so a fair point and a valid point at that it was outstanding bowling today by Shaheen Shah Afridi. You expect that out of Shaheen Shah Afridi. He's been doing it at a consistent basis now in international cricket. But the point is, Saibhai, now you will have to face Shaheen Shah Afridi maybe another time, definitely on the 10th, maybe another time if you reach the final, then in the World Cup. So you're going to be facing him. What do you think needs to be worked on by Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma? Because we were looking at those numbers, getting out to the balls that are coming in, and it's not looking good at the moment. What do you think can be done? Because yes, he's a quality bowler, but you have to face him. You have to get runs against him. What can they do technically, mental, side of the game? What can be done to counter Shaheen Shah Afridi?
Well, I think with Shaheen Shah Afridi, you want to play as close to the pads as possible, not leave a gap between bat and pad. Look to play as close, not look to play away, which we saw with both the batters, and that can happen if you're coming into bat after a little bit of a gap. So the more they practice, the more matches that they play before they play against Pakistan next, I think that'll do them wonders. They score runs against Nepal. Hopefully that game will not get washed out, and if they do that, then clearly I think the next match against Pakistan will be well worth going a long distance to watch.
Okay, Saibhai, is there also a silver lining, though there were dark clouds here throughout the game, but is there a silver lining for the Indian team looking at today's performance? Because more often than not, whenever they've done well in ODI cricket, it's the top order that gets them run. Today, the top order failed. We've spoken about it. What happens when you've lost 3 or 4 quick wickets? Can Indian team really put up a good total? Today, that happened. Does that then give you confidence, that silver lining, that okay, on occasions, when the top order doesn't come good, you now have a stable middle order, good batters in Ishan Kishan, in a Hardik Pandya, maybe Jadeja the day he comes good, that can still put up a good total?
Yes, I think that's a huge plus. That's why it's so good to have quality all-rounders in your team. To have Hardik Pandya at 6, with the Jadeja at 7 is something that most teams would enjoy having some players of that caliber. And the way they built that partnership, it was such a good partnership for the simple reason that they bided their time. Both of them can hit sixes at will. We all know that. They can hit the long ball. But they realized the situation was grim, that they had to stabilize the innings and then look to play the shots. And that's exactly what they did. They got themselves in, got a measure of what the pitch was doing, and then they attacked. So clearly, I think fabulous partnership, and so nice to see numbers 6 and 7 also coming and scoring runs. I know Jadeja didn't score too many, but that partnership of 35 or 40 was also required at that stage, because if Jadeja got out quickly, then the Indian innings could well have folded as it did later on.
All right, Saibhai, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for taking our time, speaking to India today, and giving us that perspective on this game that has ended even Stevens, both teams sharing points because of the rain. And let no one tell you that one team had an advantage the other, because it did seem like a 50-50 encounter to begin with. It ended at a 50-50 position, with India putting up more than a challenging total despite having lost those early wickets. It would have been a good chase that fans would have enjoyed, but that wasn't to be. I actually caught up with a few fans. I'm coming to you live from the Palakkale Stadium. Right now it's empty because it's been a good 1 hour since the game has been called off. But a lot of fans, when they were coming out, I caught up with them, and to my surprise, not a lot of them were very disappointed. They thought they got their money's worth. Enjoy this We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Looking ahead to that Nepal game. For the time being, this is Nikhil Nas signing off from Sri Lanka. Talking about Indian fans, they don't come bigger than this man who's next to me. Not just big in terms of size, but he's a massive, massive India fan as well. क्या होता आज मैच में? मैच तो नहीं हो पाया. क्या होता? 266 good enough थे?
देखो 266 तो बना है, लेकिन पहले लग नहीं रहा था 266 बनेगा, ऐसे लग रहा 150 रन पे ऑल आउट ना हो जाए. बट ये उम्मीद जाग गई है टीम इंडिया के अंदर कि मिडिल ऑर्डर में भी कोई बैक कर सकता है. हार्दिक पांड्या गुड फॉर्म में आ गए हैं. ईशान किशन ने जो पारी 100 बेशक नहीं बने, लेकिन 100 से कम नहीं है रन ये. और थोड़ा सा टीम इंडिया को कॉन्फिडेंट होकर खेलना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि जैसे शाहीन शाह अफरीदी ने जो बॉलिंग करी है तो अमेजिंग बॉलिंग. बट टीम इंडिया को यहाँ से सीखने की जरूरत है. नेक्स्ट मैच में जब एक प्रैक्टिस मैच ही समझ लो, लेकिन इंडिया का स्कोर जरूर बनना चाहिए था.
चलो ठीक है, जैसे आपने बताया कि भाई बैटिंग बेटर होनी चाहिए. 266 बना दिए. कई बार टफ टोटल होता है प्रेशर में. क्या लगता है क्या होता है रिजल्ट?
बिल्कुल रिजल्ट टीम इंडिया के फेवर में जाता, क्योंकि पिच स्लो थी और यहाँ पे मे बी 250 रन चेज करना बड़ा मुश्किल, टफ था. श्रीलंका में अंडर लाइट, ये बड़ा फर्क पड़ता है. श्रीलंका में अंडर लाइट बड़ा मुश्किल होता है चेज करना. अगर बॉलिंग इंडिया की आ जाती और बारिश नहीं होती तो डेफिनेटली टीम इंडिया ये मैच जीत गया होता.
तो हो जाता है.
यही खुशी है. चलो इंडिया पाकिस्तान का एक इनिंग तो देखने को मिली, बस सब लोग यही
दुख भी है कि पूरा मैच नहीं
क्योंकि
देखा.
बहुत अच्छा माहौल बन चुका था. पाकिस्तानी साथ में बैठे होते और जैसे रन बन रहे थे तो मतलब अलग ही माहौल बन जाता. कह रहे यार वो चुप ही हो जाते थे जब, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तानी बहुत आए हुए, हमारे सपोर्टर बहुत थे और बहुत ही मजा आया. तो मैं चाहूंगा इंडिया पाकिस्तान का फाइनल भी होना
एनर्जी
चाहिए.
है ना अभी भी?
बिल्कुल पूरी एनर्जी है पाजी, बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी है. क्या करें, अब निकाल नहीं सकते हैं क्योंकि अभी बचा के रखना आगे के लिए, क्योंकि जो चाहिए टक्कर देनी है सबको पाजी.
ओके जी, ऑल द बेस्ट. थैंक यू सो मच.
बेस्ट विजिट टीम इंडिया को. भारत माता की जय. जय हिंद.